Liu Xiaojun is a legend in Olympic lifting. His technique and strength are world-class, and in this video, I'll break down his best lifts and what you can take from his style to improve your own performance. Let's look at his best numbers first and see just how incredible they were. So this is a 180 kilo snatch in training, massive lift. 180 at 77 is just so huge. That has to be probably one of the best snatches ever in that body weight class. I mean, obviously it was a world record for him. 180 would be above that, but it's in training. I don't think I can imagine anyone as good a snatcher outside of, say, Gough and Vardanyan and maybe a couple others, but I mean, that is just one of the best all-time snatches ever, 180, and he just crushes it too. It's impressive to me actually that he only did 180. Maybe he's done more, maybe there was an 82 in there one day, but then he did 177 in competition, which is not much far off that, which is really impressive. Let's take a look at some of his other lifts as well and see the rest of his career as we go. So here's a 204 clean and jerk. This is a huge lift, 204 at 77. This is back in London. It's kind of crazy when you think about Liu's career because it spanned for a long time. He was even gonna come back and do another such a good clean. I mean, that is like the most effortless 204 kilo clean you've probably ever seen from a guy who weighs 77. Then, you know, obviously the squat jerk, he was known for that, one red. The judges love to get after him for that. I think the thing about Liu that's really impressive is that he seemed to be like one of the most genuine lifters. When he was going out there and he would do these lifts, you'd see this kind of thing. He'd pull his coach up on the stage. He did it I think he did it in Beijing. Or no, sorry, not him, not in Beijing. London would have been the first time. And I think he did it again at a Worlds. But it's just cool to see that. It was like really cool to watch him do that kind of thing. Anyways, back to his technique. You know, he has great positions for clean. He has great body type for clean. He's got long torso, short legs. You can see how smooth he moves the bar. Super strong, super skilled. I mean, this is the absolute pinnacle of weightlifting. There just isn't much you can say that he should do differently to make more lifts or to make bigger lifts. So super fun to watch. Always like a crowd favorite, I think. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him at Tokyo, but you know, it is what it is. So this is the 207, there it is. This was a crazy battle because I remember his back was pretty messed up here and he was doing lifts and then he was like collapsing and basically like crawling off stage, I think. I'm pretty sure it was this meet. But he came out and he made the lifts and, you know, fought as hard as possible to win. There he is, taking the shirt off, taking the singlet off, giving everyone a little show, what we really wanted to see. But yeah, I mean, this slow-mo here is just a good example of how incredible he was. And the bar is so close, shins come back so well, he's over the bar. And then this transition is just masterful. Knees come back under, he's still flat-footed, brings it right into the hips. Such an incredible lift. So close, I mean, look at that. The bar is still moving up and he's almost all the way under it. The rack here is flawless. Meets it so well. I mean, you just can't, I don't think there's probably been someone as smooth in the clean that I could think of in the last few years. You know, Carlos Nassar is really good and he's got an incredible clean, but like he doesn't look the same as Liu. Liu's just special. He just really was such a unique one-of-a-kind lifter. And then there's a beautiful squat jerk. If you're gonna do a squat jerk, it has to look at least as good as Liu's for you to keep doing it. That's my opinion. Otherwise, it's an abomination. Otherwise, I really like it. He's amazing. You know, there's like almost nothing you can say about Liu that would detract from his lifting. So actually, I met Liu and Lao Hui in DC in 2013, and there was a little seminar they did, and they talked about, someone asked what their best split jerk was, and Liu told everyone, I remember him saying this, I watched him say this, his best split jerk was 215. And he said he could do the same for both, but he just preferred squat jerk, which I thought was incredible. And I also don't know if I believe that either. So, you know, 215 at 77 is big numbers. That's like 1980s numbers. He might have even said more, but I think 215 was it. But yeah, I mean, like, so if he did both and he could do both equally well, then yeah, why not? You know, Demos was the same as well. He could do both, but he said he was just more consistent in squat jerk or power jerk. So why not choose the one that works better? So yeah, super incredible to see his lifts. So strong. This is a good example here, these little like side by sides. This is such a good example of like just how good he really was as far as the actual like consistency of his lifting. I mean, every single lift looked the same. 191 to 207 is a pretty big jump, but this is like, look at that. Every single lift, almost the exact same position. On the 191, he's a little bit faster, but on the other ones, he's hitting all the same spots. Super fast under the bar, super solid. You just can't find much to complain about with his lifting. I would wonder what he would say. I wonder what he would say about his lifting. I wonder what his coach would say about his lifting too. Would they have a lot of stuff to nitpick, or would it be the kind of thing where he would just be like, yeah, he was great and I just let him do his thing. But look at that. That clean is just so solid. We jump ahead here. Let's look at the jerk. Super solid drive. The speed he moves under that bar, it's so good. You kind of don't realize it when it's happening that you're in the throes of greatness. I mean, I remember seeing a video of Lou probably at like a junior worlds or something and thinking, oh, here's like, is it just some guy, and he's doing whatever. And you don't think about it like this guy is going to be one of the greatest of all time. But, there he was, multi-time gold medalist at the Olympics, just incredible, a winning machine. Quick announcement, I don't open up remote coaching spots very often, but I do have a few available right now. If you've ever wanted me to personally write your program, review your lifts, and guide you week to week, this is your chance. These spots usually fill up fast, so if you're interested, click the link below and book a call to see if we'd be a good fit. So here's those gold shoes. I remember when he first threw them on, I remember which games it was, but he threw the gold shoes on. It was like everybody wanted a pair of Lou gold shoes. This is All Things Gym, his recording. I was here. I remember watching this, probably this session even. We were in the training hall. It was kind of funny because I want to say Team Georgia and Team China showed up, and there was like a weird little like tension in the air. But yeah, I mean, you could see like Lou just has that like, I don't know how to describe it. He has the qualities of a lifter who's been training for so long, the way he moves the bar, the way he does everything. It just feels so deliberate, but also like so lazy, if you can describe it that way. Like he does everything, he's so strong, he's just kind of moving around, but nothing is like excessively fast or powerful. He's just trying to do as little as he possibly can, probably because he's exhausted and probably just like, just wants to kind of move around until he feels good. And then as the weights start to climb up, we skip ahead, like we can see the weights will start to climb up and he'll just start to move better and better. I mean, 170, that can't possibly feel hard to him, right? Easy lifts, he's just getting warmed up. And then as the weight keeps climbing, 220, then you can see, okay, he's now putting a little bit of effort in, making pretty solid reps. I'm not sure how many people that can do a pause squat with 220 like that, let alone at 77. Then he hits 270, and this will be a little harder. So he's actually trying here. This is gonna be probably pretty close to what he would do for the day. But again, it's like, there's just like another gear, right? Like that was tough, but he could do probably another rep and he could definitely do a little bit more weight. It's just impressive to see that whole demeanor of like top tier athletes where so familiar with it, so comfortable with the bar that everything they do is just, it's always gonna be perfect. It's always gonna be right there. Yeah, it's hard to describe. So you actually been in the back room and you watch these guys, you don't have a good appreciation for like the kind of energy they have and the kind of like deliberateness they have when they do things. It always has this weird vibe of like, you'll go in a warm-up room and see a bunch of people and there'll be someone who's like going really hard and like pulling hard, moving their feet and aggressive with 50 kilos. And you just know like that guy's not gonna win. But then you watch like a Lou or anyone else, like a Lasha, and it's like, they almost look like they're just tired. Like they're just kind of like nonchalant about it. And yet they just are amazing, So this is something we see a lot. You see guys do a lot of like hyperextensions and they'll use bumpers or benches to do them. They're setting it up here so he can do, he's got the ice packs on his knees. I don't know what went on with him in the last part of his career, but his knees started to bug him a lot. You can see the giant like wraps on his knees with the ice packs. But then here's the hypers, right? So they just set it up and they do this whole thing. And like, it was important enough to do it, and they would do it all the time. You see the Chinese team doing this all the time. They'll do benches, they'll do bumpers, they'll do whatever, and they get their hypers in. So it's super cool. There's a little Tin Tao as well. But yeah, this is like classic Liu Xiaojun, classic Chinese team. Pretty solid, you know? He's got, what, 50 kilos on there, so not bad. Holds it. I imagine a lot of the stuff he was doing here at this point was probably to keep him healthy. Yeah, he wasn't at the end of his career right now, but like it was getting there. And so, you know, he basically like, I mean, you can see him there, he's like kind of in pain. Half his workout is like back extensions and ab stuff and whatever. And so there he is, Liu Xiaojun, probably one of the best weightlifters of all time. Snatched 177 at 77, which is 100 kilos over body weight. That's been done by only a few athletes. Notably, the heaviest was Niku Vlad, who did 205 and a half, weighing 100. But there have been only a handful of guys to do 100 kilos over body weight, which is extraordinary. I'm not sure. It's not the most over body weight. That would have been Gough, who did 195 and a half at 90, but still remarkable, 100 kilos over body weight. If you like this video, subscribe, and if you're interested, check out my breakdown of Lasha Talahadze.